Good evening, everybody, and welcome tonight to the Day 60 update. So here's what we're going to do to get going tonight. And shalom, hello, peace, slava gospodu to everybody, meaning praise the Lord. Just welcome to everybody here. There's people jumping in from all over on this Sunday night. Here's what I'm going to ask you to do tonight. If you're watching on Facebook, and there's a reason I'm specifically asking tonight. Last night I was trying to explain a bit about Eastern Orthodoxy and about cultural Christianity. I hope I was able to convey that. It's a completely different world spiritually than here in the West. I know we have viewers here as well from other nations, and they understand. So for the Americans specifically, I hope I was able to do a decent job of conveying that information. With that said, in a little while, I am going to show you the inside of the Eastern Orthodox Easter celebration day, where Ukraine continued to be under assault. So here's what I'm going to ask you to do tonight. If you were watching on YouTube, I really want this video shared. Okay? And you guys are doing perfect. You're talking, you're chatting, you're commenting. If you're on Facebook, hit that like button or hit that share button. There's a reason for this one tonight. There is a powerful message that you are getting ready to hear from President Zelenskyy. If it was not for the translation, you would not be able to understand what he's saying. But it's translated and it's ready to go. And it is going to blow you away. I promise you. If you're on YouTube, make sure you're hitting that like button and share button tonight. And whatever you want to say in the share, tonight is vitally important. This is the message that I want to get out. We are moving right now into the third month of this war. And we're not slowing down. We're not stopping. Now, today in church, I did get into a battle with a chair. You guys remember the old country song? I fought the law and the law won. I fought the law and the law won. Well, today at church, folks, I fought the chair and the chair won. I fought the chair and the floor won. I had an adventure in church today, so if you guys see me wincing a little bit, just let it ride. But I will tell you why. You can see my finger all bruised up. I think I've got some rib issue and some hip issue. I will tell you what happened. We've got a great church here at Bethel Life in Greenville, Pennsylvania. This is where we base all of this operation out of. And we've got a great staff, got a great team, great community, great church. And we're a team. So, I don't preach every Sunday. Pastor Kent doesn't preach every Sunday. We have multiple preaching pastors. We have multiple worship leaders. We have multiple teachers. And it's not a one-man show here. So we're always taking care of each other, spreading stuff out. So today, Christopher, my protege, was leading worship. And I decided today, I'm speaking every night. And yesterday at the church, I taught a 5-hour class on Theology 101. So a little tired here. So we made the decision this week for Chris to lead worship, and then Pastor Andrew was preaching. I said, okay, I'm taking it easy today, and I'm going to run sound. We've got other sound engineers, but I said, I'm going to serve today. I'm going to run the sound. So we have first service going great. Everything's wonderful. Great service. We move into the second service, and everything's going great. Worship was awesome. Pastor Andrew was preaching a phenomenal message. And then during the message, we're getting to the close of the message, and he's calling for people to come to the altar, and we're going to have a time of prayer. And I'm a small guy, so I couldn't see over all the people. So there's a chair in the back, and we have a pretty big sanctuary. So I climb up on top of the chair, and Pastor Andrew is like giving his altar call, and it's getting very peaceful. And now we want all, that need prayer today to come to the front, and our pastors are here, and we're going to pray with you and believe God to touch you today. And about that moment is when I decided to fall out of the chair. Yes, as they were coming forward, I climbed up on the chair flipped over, I hit the ground, and yes, I destroyed the complete service because every person who was focused on coming for prayer turned to make sure that the wall had not fallen down. So that's where I'm at tonight. So if I get ranting and raving a little bit and you see this, I fought the floor, and the floor won. So that's where we're at. Yes, and listen, I did land there, protected the iPad. We have all high-tech stuff, and I'm good to go. I'm a tough dude. So no problem, nothing broken, just some soreness and some bruising, I guarantee you. I'm really not looking forward to getting up in the morning. I can tell you that. All right, folks, with all of that said, thank you, everybody. Thank you for sharing. It's very important. What you're going to see tonight is going to really blow you away. Let's get it going tonight. I'll tell you this. I spoke with Zhenya a little while ago. He is wore out. So gave him the night off. We didn't even pre-record something. I mean, it was over. He could not keep his head up. So he's resting. He's getting a full night of rest, and we will check up on him tomorrow. The trip back to Ukraine should begin tomorrow evening. So that's the update on Jacob. And here we go, folks. As I told you, you share a picture, you give it to me, I'm going to share it. This was a quilt made by the So Amazing Friends Quilting Circle near Bridgeville, Pennsylvania. I think Donna Adams sent this in, and she says, I'm going on a Christian outreach sewing mission to Lima, Peru next week with 2 others from our group. But that group has made this quilt, and they are auctioning it off, and the funds that are being raised are going to support the work in Ukraine. So thank you guys for that. Big shout out to that sewing club there. That is a really, really cool quilt. All right. Folks, I want to give you an update. Quite a few things have changed today strategically. Yes, on the Orthodox Easter day. If you look at the map right there, I'll give you a little bigger image here. Look up at the north of Kharkiv. We're going to talk about that area. You know where Sumy is. We're going to talk about that area. And folks, we're going to talk about Chernihiv again. You're saying, Chernihiv again? We began to speak about that last night. Well, it went to another level today. You can also see the contested territory beginning. That pinch is coming extremely quick and aggressively there as the forces push toward Kramatorsk. So today on ground battles, Ukraine won some, Russia won some, but the push is on for an increase in the territory. And if you've been here since day one or you've joined along the journey, you have witnessed that map kind of grow in a little bit. I'm actually thinking about doing some comparisons. Of course, I have every graphic, I have every file, I have every video, I have every interview from all 60 days to this point. Nothing is gone. Everything is stored in multiple ways. And I'm probably going to do some comparisons here as to see really how the map has adjusted. You look at that, and if you're here every night, you say, yeah, that red's moving in a little bit. Oh, but we had a blue move here. But you really can't understand it unless we maybe can overlay some maps. So that's the plan coming forward here pretty quickly. We'll see what unfolds with that. Now, in the southern area, and you guys know this area, this is Mykolaiv on the left, this is now Kryvyi Rog in the middle, and Zaporozhye. This is Energodar. This is where the nuclear power station is, where Russia has all the grads, where they are firing. Well, here's the deal. They are now, and they have declared that they want Zaporozhye, they want Kryvyi Rog, and they want Mykolaiv. Of course, Mykolaiv is being rocked. And of course, the beginnings of the assault began on Odessa. I've got something I'm going to say about Melitopol in just a moment. But just so you understand, if you're here new, people are jumping in because I really hope you're sharing tonight, because this one's going to be very powerful here. Okay, actually, we're donating the quilt to the auction that's coming for Ukraine in the next month or so. Perfect. Thank you. And we will take care of it. So let me show you where that is, guys. For all of my Ukrainian friends, as always, this is real Ukraine. I'm going quick here. So that push that is coming is from into Mykolaiv, into Kryvyi Rog, and into Zaporozhye. You realize it's already through here. So they're trying to get 3 major locations. And of course, the strikes yesterday and continuing today in Odessa. So there's something else we're going to talk about the borders in just a moment that going to be quite interesting. There was a new release and a new phase of military action by Russia today on the land and in the sea. Today, this is important. Please hear me. Macron was reelected president. Let me tell you why that is important. Because the lady that he defeated was pro-Russia, was pro-Putin, and she has been defeated. It was 57% to 42%. It is official. She has conceded, and Macron stays on as president of France. For Ukraine, it's very important. President Zelenskyy has already sent him messages in the French language saying, so thankful that you won the election. Congratulations. Thank you for our partnership. And as we continue to wage war against Russia. So that's good. Today, every city throughout Ukraine where people are trying to be evacuated, Kharkiv, all through the south, out of the Lugansk and Donetsk areas, and of course, Mariupol, where today the mayor released information confirming over 20,000 dead. Let that sink in a moment. Over 20,000 dead, 1,000 still under the Azovstal plant being bombarded, and over 100,000 people still in the city hiding out. I don't know where they're hiding, but they are. They're in the rubble in the buildings. And that was an update today. But here's the report from Vereshchuk, Irina Vereshchuk, who's responsible for humanitarian aid and corridors. None were permitted today. 0. Yeah. You understand. You're here each night. We know the deal. We know the story. Another big thing that came out today, OSCE, they are working in the Donetsk area region. They're working in the Lugansk area. They're working around Kharkiv. They're working in the south. They're not in Mariupol area. But this is the Organization for Security and Cooperation in Europe. It's the world's largest regional security-oriented intergovernmental organization with observer status at the United Nations. Its mandate includes issues such as arms control, promotion of human rights, freedom of the press, and free and fair elections. Why am I showing you this picture tonight? Because the OSCE has not heard from any of their representatives on the ground in the Lugansk and the Donetsk Oblast, and they have received communication that their people have been kidnapped. What else do you need to know about this war? They have kidnapped the third-party advisors, overwatchers from the OSCE. Why do you kidnap the overwatchers? Because you do not want them to report to the world the atrocities that are happening. Big deal today with those guys. We've been watching this story from Ivan Fedorov probably 45 days ago, way over a month ago. He was kidnapped. He's the mayor of Melitopol. I'll go to the map real quick. Let me clear that just so you guys remember. Let me make that just a touch smaller here. Let's zoom in here. Mariupol, Melitopol, and I'll bring you the image now. Melitopol's right here on the X. City of 150,000 people. This young man, Ivan Fedorov, is the mayor. Officially, he's not the mayor in power right now. This city is completely occupied, and he was interviewed via writing by CNN, and this was his statements. The mayor of Melitopol said that Putin wants to kill the entire Ukrainian nation. Now, how could he say that? Remember, 30, 45 days ago, he was kidnapped for 5 days. He was exchanged for 9 Russian soldiers. This is an important guy. This is a city of 150,000 people in a very strategic location, halfway between Mariupol, Zaporozhye, and Kherson, Mykolaiv. It's very important. Ivan Fedorov said in an interview with CNN that his city is in a very difficult and dangerous situation. We are completely occupied. Let that sink in for a moment. We are completely occupied. And guys, I see your comments in here. Yeah, that's bad. Wouldn't that be an escalation of war for NATO? One would think. One would think that a city being completely razed to the ground and children being murdered would be reason for other nations to jump in, NATO or anybody. But that's where we're at right now. After Fedorov's abduction, which we know about, the Russian military appointed a new mayor of Melitopol. Fedorov was later released as a part of a prisoner exchange. We know this story. The mayor added that in Melitopol, this is the important thing, residents cannot receive help. So let me explain that to you. Melitopol is also not only completely occupied, but blockaded. They're not receiving help. And this is what the Russian military is doing. If you will do things to benefit the occupiers, then you can get food. For those that farm, a huge farming region here, if you will sow your seed in the ground, the wheat, whatever you're growing, you may keep 30%, 70% is contracted to the occupiers. So the farmers are not putting their seed in the ground, of course. The mayor added, Melitopol residents cannot receive help. We cannot deliver or receive humanitarian aid. We cannot deliver or receive medicines. We cannot deliver or receive any emergency aid. The situation is extremely dangerous. This is the truth of what's happening down in Melitopol. There was a few people that have talked to Vladimir Putin over the last couple of days, and Vladimir Putin has lost interest in diplomatic ways to end the war. Remember the day that the Moskva was sunk and Zhenya and I were on here, and you remember Zhenya going, yes, yes, it was a great moral victory. It was more than that. It was a great military accomplishment. The flagship of the Russian Navy is on the bottom of the Black Sea. But I told you, Zhenya shared with you, this will have repercussions. We are now seeing them. The Russian president is determined to seize as much Ukrainian territory as possible according to 3 different sources having conversations with Putin on governmental levels. The sinking of the Moskva enraged Putin. Prior to that, there was hope for a deal. Putin came into a rage after Ukraine sank the Moskva. Putin currently is against any agreements other than war. This is what's happening. This is what's going on. Now, I want to show you something tonight, and this is right now. I just received this video a few minutes ago before going live, and I want to show this to you. This is very, very important, and you don't want to miss this one. I want to go back to the map, and I want to come over here, change right here just to an orange. So we know here's Odessa, struck by missiles last night and today. Here is Mykolaiv under assault. These are huge cities. Here is Kherson, 300,000 people. Of course, this is Melitopol. This is the Energodar region where the nuclear power plant is. And then, of course, they want Zaporozhye and Kryvyi Rog next. But I want to zoom in right here, Kherson. I received video just a few minutes ago, literally within the last hour, that's happening right now of the citizens that are able to, that have vehicles and have cars, they are trying to leave the city of Kherson. Now, here's where this gets interesting. When we think about them leaving the city of Kherson, you say, great, they're getting out, and that is great. But I remind you that Kherson is the city that beginning May 1st is scheduled to have the referendum. The referendum is where they will determine that they will separate and become under the protection legally, officially, as an independent area under Russia. Remember, yesterday I shared with you, Zelenskyy stated that if there is any referendum, there will never be a negotiation. Well, the people tonight have been told that even more pressure is coming against Kherson. So right now, they are fleeing Kherson. I saw some comments earlier where people were saying, sometimes, and I'm not quoting, but sometimes I almost feel guilty because, I'm sitting in my area, my home, I'm watching this on the television or on my phone or my iPad, and I'm comfortable, I'm sipping on a glass of tea, and I know what these people are experiencing right now. Yeah, that's easy to feel that way, but we're doing what we can do. We're here. We're supporting. We're telling the truth. We're giving financially. We're hearing from inside Ukraine. We're trying to educate people. That's what we can do. So do not feel guilty. We're doing the best we can. But right now, 4:30 in the morning, this is what's happening in Kherson. I received this video just a few minutes ago, and I know it's not changed. They are trying to flee Kherson. Those lights are all cars in the middle of the night trying to get out of Kherson. Now, you say, great, but here's the problem. You understand that the referendum is going to fly. And it's going to fly regardless because they're going to cheat. But the people that would stand up and defend, the people that have been trying to do the parades or say Kherson is Ukraine, they're having to leave. There is intense pressure in these regions, and these things are happening right now. Poll came out. This is written in Ukrainian, but it states 40% of Russians are for Putin and the Russian forces using a nuclear weapon if necessary. 9% say no. 51% trying to figure it out. Just think about that for a moment. 40% of the people, yes, it's okay. Use a nuke. Now, I told you there were some big changes on the military side today. And folks, you still have time to share. You still have time to like. You're getting ready to be blown away in just a moment with President Zelenskyy. I promise you, you do not want to miss this. Even when this is over, maybe you want to wait and say, all right, I'll check it out first. If it's cool, then I'll share it to my friends. You'll be sharing it, I promise you. So I told you today that there were some military changes on this Orthodox Easter. Folks, we've talked about this weapon before. They were deployed on the border of Belarus in Russia. But now I'm going to go back to the map and let me explain this weapon to you first. This is the Iskander. But here's the deal about this Iskander, and there's lots of them. This is the M variation. It's the variant for the Russian armed forces with two 9M723 quasi-ballistic missiles with a published range of 500 kilometers. When they put them on the border, they can reach Kyiv, they can reach into the center. Depending where they move them into the occupied territory, they can reach on the west. But right now, I'm going to show you where these vehicles and launchers are being positioned. It's going to surprise you probably. Speeds Mach 6 to 7, flight altitude up to 50 kilometers, nuclear capable stealth missile controlled at all stages, not a ballistic flight path. Immediately after the launch and upon approach to the target, the missile performs intensive maneuvering to evade anti-ballistic missiles. The missile constantly maneuvers during flight as well. These are bad boys, really, really bad. And I'm sure our military guys that are in here watching each evening can address it much more than I can, but they're bad boys and it's not good. Now I'm going to show you tonight where they are putting them. And this is just coming out today. They're moving these weapons into range. So I'm going to show you back, and it's going to be a little surprising for you, but maybe not. Maybe not. So I'm going to show you, I'm going to circle, remember, the city of Chernihiv. And remember, here's Kyiv. Here is Sumy. Here's Konotop. Here's Kharkiv. Here's Akturka. We've talked about all of these cities during this war. Now, that's right on the Ukrainian border with Russia and partially with Belarus. Where are they putting these Iskanders? They're putting them right here. Anywhere here. No bueno. They're not in the south. They're putting them in the north, right on the border. Okay. We have a lot of strategists in here. It's very simple. They're leaving them on Russian sovereign territory, but right on the border. Why? Because they want Ukraine to fire at them. Of course, they're being protected, and there's other things that deploy with these launchers to protect them. But they want Ukraine attacking Russian dirt. Why? Because then they can sell the propaganda and the lie even faster. Even faster. Not only are we liberating the Ukrainian people, the Russian people, we are destroying the Nazis, but now we're having to protect our own dirt and sovereign territory. That's what's trying to be provoked. So they put these missile launchers right at the border, and folks, they're using them. Remember the other night when Jania was telling us about how the missile flew into Lviv, and then it turned to Ivano-Frankivsk, and then it went back to Lviv. That's the technology we are talking about. So that's number one on what changed today. The second thing that adjusted today was this. And it's already happening. But today, in the city of Kherson, the Russian tanks took off their markings, took off the Russian markings, took off the Russian flags, and put the schemes of the Ukrainian tanks and the Ukrainian flags. And they're going to go forward under the Ukrainian flag with their reign of terror. This is all through that southern region. Now maybe it makes sense a little bit more why there's a mass evacuation tonight from Kherson. Today as well, Russia deployed 20 additional ships for operational status, not just floating around, but operational status in the Black Sea. Told you last night they deployed and activated 4 submarines. Now 20 more ships. You know, President Zelenskyy has said this many times, and that is, we have the best fighters. We just need weapons. But please, when we win battles or we have successes, do not think that Russia cannot just keep sending equipment and sending equipment. They've been preparing for this for decades, and that is really what we're seeing. All right, folks, we're getting to the crux of the matter tonight and what I want to share with you. That's a good comment right there, JDO. If necessary, can mean many different things. That's back to the poll of the nukes. And yeah, changing your uniform was illegal. Listen, Russia's breaking every, well, I don't want to say every, I want to be accurate on everything. Russia is breaking many rules of war. They're using illegal munitions. They are going under the flag of their enemy. They're changing uniforms. It's bad news. Folks, I want to show you here, and this is going to move us into what I hope, and tomorrow we'll move to day 61. Going to have Zhenya back in here, but I just really hope that you have, over the last couple of days, learned or thought about, there's just a difference in culture when it comes to Easter, when it comes to the orthodoxy. And I know we have people in here that are watching that have experience, that have been in these nations like I have. It's just a different understanding. So with this is Putin today. I'm getting ready to show you a video of this. Yes, this was today. And to the right of that, this is Putin in the Easter service. He was in one last night when the cruise missiles were flying to Odessa, and he attended another Easter service today, had his candle. I'm going to show you video of that service in just a moment. But the picture symbolized here is, well, here is also Adolf Hitler coming out of service on Easter. At the bottom left, you see the Russian general and you see the patriarch. On the right, you see World War II with the soldiers saluting the Nazi salute as the priest comes out and he salutes as well. Folks, we just see stunning parallels. With that, I want to give you a peek tonight. This is the part I really want you to share with your friends, family, and neighbor. I'm going to show you Zelenskyy in just a moment. But before we do that, I want to show you today the Easter Orthodox tradition. I'll give you about 60 seconds of it. That was in Moscow that Vladimir Putin attended.
Звучит пасхальный тропарь на латинском и греческом языках. Весть о воскресшем Спасителе, благодатью Божией и усилиями апостолов быстро распространилась по всей Вселенной и нашла горячих приверженцев
So I know you
среди
don't understand.
обитателей
He's talking about the service.
греко-римского мира.
And
Не
notice,
один
this is
народ, а все народы
Russian
сделались
Times reporting about it. There's the
наследниками
patriarch.
евангельского обетования о грядущем царстве славы Божьей.
He's saying Jesus is risen. There's President Putin with his candle.
Храм Христа Спасителя
Right
посетил
behind the patriarch.
по традиции президент Российской Федерации Владимир Владимирович Путин. Здесь же справа от алтаря находится и мэр Москвы Сергей Семенович Собянин.
И соединении всем Господу помолимся.
So, folks, there you have it. I doubt that many of you have ever been to a Russian Orthodox service. I have. I've been to many. Have experienced the culture. I've actually got some wonderful Russian Orthodox friends. Good people. But what you saw right there was Vladimir Putin today at the Easter Orthodox service with the Moscow Patriarch. And you can see the propaganda that goes with it, the pride that our president is here. He's got his candle. He's liberating the world. That's the deal. Well, folks, now let's check out the antithesis or the opposite of that. Right here. You see on the left, Ukrainian soldier with the Ukrainian flag. You see in the yellow, I'll translate it for you, Christos Voskres, meaning Christ is risen. And then the blue words up above say that light will conquer darkness. On the right, I'm going to give you one quote from President Zelenskyy, but then I'm going to show you. Folks, just get ready. At Easter, we ask God for great grace to make a great dream come true. This is another great day, a day when great peace will come to Ukraine. Prayer and congratulations of the President of Ukraine, Volodymyr Zelenskyy, on Easter. So instead of me just giving you a quote or two, folks, this is very moving what you're getting ready to see. This is President Zelenskyy alone in the very, very famous Kyiv church, praying for his nation. And there are points during this where he almost starts preaching. You can tell it's genuine. And yes, you're going to understand it all because I have it in the English for you at the bottom. Here we go, folks. I believe this will encourage you and bless you as much as it did me.
Великий народе великої України. Сьогодні велике свято. І я знаходжуся у великому місці, Великому Софійському соборі. В соборі, що закладено 1000 років тому на полі священної битви, де військо Київської Русі України розгромило печенігів. В соборі, що не зруйнувала ні ординська навала, ні нацистська окупація, який вистояв попри все. Сьогодні всі ми віримо у нову перемогу України. І всі ми впевнені, що нас не знищить жодна орда і жодна нечисть. Ми долаємо темні часи, і у цей світлий день я і більшість з нас не у світлих одежах, але ми боремось за світлу ідею. На світлій стороні і на нашому боці правда, люди, Господь і вище небесне сяйво. Сила заступниці роду людського, Богородиці Аранти. Вона наді мною, вона над нами усіма. Непохитний стовп Церкви Христової, непорушний мур головної твердині Києва, нерушима стіна держави. Допоки є Оранта, є Софія, а з нею стоїть Київ, а з ними вся Україна. Над образом Оранти написані слова з книги Псалмів: «Бог серед міста, і воно не похитнеться. Бог йому допоможе перед світанком». У цей великий день ми всі віримо, що наш світанок скоро настане. Оранта на латині означає «той, що молиться». Останні 2 місяці ми молимось всі. І Воскресіння Христове, що символізує велику перемогу життя над смертю, кожен з нас просить у Господа одного і промовляє до неба однакові слова, слова великої і єдиної молитви. Боже великий, єдиний, нам Україну храни. Захисти тих, хто захищає нас. Бороніть небеса тих, хто боронить рідну землю. Зміцни волю тих, хто захищає нас від неволі. Збережи тих, хто береже Україну. Це наші військові, нацгвардійці, прикордонники, наша територіальна оборона, розвідка, ці та всі інші наші воїни світла. Допомагай тим, хто їм допомагає. Це волонтери і всі небайдужі люди з України та усього світу. Дай сили всім, хто віддає всі сили. Хай кожен, хто шукає, завжди знайде. Хай кожен, хто в дорозі, завжди її подолає. І хай кожен, хто для порятунку України робить все можливе, ніколи не втрачає віру в те, що все можливо. Бережи життя тих, хто рятує життя іншим. Це всі наші медики, наші пожежні, рятувальники, сапери. Хай перемога життя буде символом не тільки цього свята. Хай життя виграє битву у смерті кожного дня. Бережи наших матерів. Дай витримки тим, хто чекає сину чи доньку з війни. Дай стійкості тим, хто, на жаль, не дочекався своєї дитини з фронту. Допоможи здолати нестерпний біль тим, хто втратив рідне дитя у мирних містах і селах, куди Росія принесла смерть. А всім нашим матерям і всім нашим бабусям дай міцного здоров'я на ще многое літа, щоб дочекатись своїх, щоб дочекатись миру і перемоги, щоб дочекатись справедливості і щасливої старості, яку у них намагаються вкрасти загарбники. І замість того, щоб в'язати онукам шарфики і светрики, вони плетуть сьогодні маскувальні сітки. Тож дай їм довгих років мирного життя, як і нашим батькам, як і нашим дідусям, які колись розповідали онукам про війну, а сьогодні відправляють онуків на війну. Наші батьки і наші діди будували цю країну. Сьогодні вони бачать, як її руйнують. Дай їм побачити, як наша земля буде звільнена і відбудована, а нам дай сили це зробити. Бережи всіх наших діточок. Дай кожному хлопчику і кожній дівчинці щасливу юність, молодість, зрілість і старість, які хоча б трохи дозволять позбутись спогадів їхнього страшного дитинства у часи війни. Не дитячих страшних ігор, в які їх змусили грати, хованки, але у підвалі від бомб, біг, але від пострілів, мандри, але через втрату домівки, рятуючись від війни. Збережи всіх українців. Ми ні на кого не нападали, тож дай нам захисту. Ми ніколи не знищували інші народи, тож не дай нікому знищити нас. Ми не захоплювали чужих земель, тож не дай захопити нашу. Збережи Україну, її правий і лівий береги в часи, коли нас підло б'ють і по правій, і по лівій щоці. Наприкінці зими до нас прийшла зовсім не весна. В наш дім принесли холод і стужу. На світанку нам принесли непроглядну темряву. Ми віримо, Боже, що під час свого суду Ти не забудеш їх усіх. Всіх тих, хто забув усі Твої заповіді. Не забудеш про Бучу, Ірпінь, Бородянку, Гостомель. Всіх, хто пережив звірячі злочини. Дай їм та всій нашій землі людського щастя. Не забудеш про Чернігів, Миколаїв, Херсон, Суми, Харків, Ізюм, Краматорськ, Волноваху, Попасну, всі інші міста і села, які чують моторошні вибухи. Дай їм і нам усім почути салют перемоги. Не забудеш про Маріуполь і його героїчних захисників. Можна знищити стіни, але неможливо знищити фундамент, на якому тримається дух наших воїнів, дух усієї країни. Ми бачимо страшні сцени війни, дай нам побачити щасливу картину миру. Ми проходимо надважкі випробування, дай нам дійти на цьому шляху до справедливого кінця, до початку щасливого життя і процвітання України. Наші серця сповнені лютим гнівом, наші душі сповнені лютою ненавистю до загарбників і всього, що вони накоїли. Не дай люті зруйнувати нас зсередини. Перетвори її на наші звершення ззовні. Перетвори її на добру силу, аби перемогти сили зла. Вбережи нас від розбрату і розколів. Не дай нам втратити єдність, зміцни нашу волю і наш дух. Не дай нам втратити себе. Не дай нам втратити жагу до свободи, а отже, не дай нам втратити запал до праведної боротьби. Не дай нам втратити надію на перемогу і почуття власної гідності, а отже, не втратити власну свободу. Не втратити Україну, а отже, не втратити віру. Дорогі українці, торік ми зустрічали Великдень вдома через пандемію. Цьогоріч ми знову відзначаємо Воскресіння Христове не так, як звикли, через інший вірус, через чуму під назвою війна. І минулорічну, і теперішню загрозу об'єднує одне – ніщо не зможе подолати Україну. Велике свято сьогодні дає нам велику надію і непохитну віру в те, що світло переможе темряву, добро переможе зло, життя переможе смерть, а отже, неодмінно переможе Україна. І на Великдень ми просимо у Бога великої благодаті, щоб здійснилась наша велика мрія. Це ще один великий день, день, коли в Україні настане великий мир, а з ним вічна злагода і процвітання. З вірою і впевненістю в це я вітаю всіх вас зі святом Пасхи і Великодня. Бережіть себе, бережіть своїх близьких, бережіть Україну. Христос воскрес! Воістину воскрес!
Now you understand why I asked you to share this. Unbelievable. So if you didn't learn anything tonight, and I'm going to show you one last thing. Tonight I had really planned also to show you the truth video from Putin. But I'm not going to. I'm going to move that one more night. I'm going to move that to tomorrow. It's okay. It's the same message. I want you to see it. But there's no way I'm going to put that message behind what we just saw. I am going to put one more message behind what we saw. I'm going to put the message from Captain Slavik Palomar. If you can't, and we're done talking about logistics and troops and all that for tonight. We'll be back on that tomorrow. We'll be back with Zhenya. I really hope you have learned over the last couple of days what this Orthodox Easter in Eastern Christianity means to people. And that's why everyone lost their minds last night at the beginning of the celebrations, when Russia basically just turned the attacks wide open. Powerful. So I'm not going to leave this on a downer with the message. We'll show that tomorrow night. And listen, you do not want to miss that one either. It's very, very interesting. But we are going to leave it with this. As you know, we have been following this guy the entire war. This is appeal from the deputy commander of the Azov Regiment, Captain Sviatoslav Palomar. So his nickname would be Slavic Palomar, regarding the situation in Mariupol today on Easter. This guy, underneath the Azovstal plant, still celebrating Easter. We went from Zelenskyy. Now let's hear. This is about 1 minute from our buddy Palomar.
Христос Воскрес, шановна Україна! Сьогодні великий день. І навіть попри це ворог продовжує скидати авіаційні бомби, гатить корабельна артилерія, стріляють гармати, продовжують бити ворожі танки, піхота пробує штурмувати. Але я хочу, щоб в цей день, чи на фронті, чи в себе вдома, чи в переселенні, кожен задумався про цінності. На 60-й день війни, я думаю, що кожен уже зрозумів, що матеріальне – це ніщо в порівнянні з тим, щоб обійняти своїх дітей, поговорити з близькими, насолодитися тишиною. Ми хочемо подякувати тим, хто не на словах, а на ділі намагається допомогти цивільним жителям Маріуполя евакуюватися з цієї небезпечної території. Дякую тим, хто прикладає максимум зусиль для виведення з оточення наших військових, що залишилися сам на сам із переважаючими силами противника. Велика шана побратимам, які поклали своє життя заради безпеки батьківщини та всього світу. У цей великий день я закликаю весь цивілізований світ зробити все, щоб ці військові, які здійснили надлюдський подвиг у покинутому місті, мали змогу розказати все своїм рідним, прийти на могили до своїх побратимів. Та пам'ятайте, в цей час, коли ви кидаєте пасхальні картинки і насолоджуєтеся перемир'ям, у Маріуполі ворог скидає бомби на голови ні в чому не повинних дітей.
There you have it. That is Palomar. Still there. Veliki din, Veliki din, Veliki din. It's a great day. Let's think about that as we close out tonight. He said, hug your children, hug your loved ones. We've learned material things mean nothing. Thank you, he also said, for everyone that is helping us. Folks, that's what we do here each night, 9 to 10 o'clock Eastern. We're doing our part. You're doing your part. Thank you. That's it. When we hear a message like that from President Zelenskyy, and then our buddy Palomar, man, I hope that guy gets out. I'm going to struggle if he doesn't. That's it. That's where we're at, folks. You've got the full update on day 60. We have now entered into the third month. No telling what's going to change in 23 hours. We'll get an update from Zhenya, and we'll see where we're at in 23 hours. May the Lord bless you, and God bless Ukraine tonight. See you.